Hello again, everyone. So while we're waiting for the first blocks to come up from dump 9 today, which we've moved to, which is right across from the fossil wall, so it should actually be very good. I want to show you some of the interesting fossils and why we're interested in them that have come out over the last few days. So as you can see from the numbers on these blocks, these are coming from dump 7. So this is a particularly interesting fossil here. I'll try and get a closer look at it. The reason it's interesting is that it looks very much like a hominid ulna. I think it could be a radius, but I think it's a hominid ulna. The breccia around it is very similar to what has come out of block 2, particularly this sort of fine-grained breccia with these smaller rocks and fossils. There's an interesting tooth adjacent to it. As we look around at some of these blocks, here's another really interesting fossil. This long curved fossil, thick. It looks like a cranial fragment. It's very thick, and that holds a lot of promise for us too. That's kind of what you would expect of say a fragment of hominid cranium in that material. There's other pieces that are in this block that are in these blocks that are very interesting that we'll be working through over the next several months. The preparation is very slow. You've seen that in previous videos, and you can see that we have a lot of material to work through. Some of this will go into Johannesburg, where we'll use a CT scanner and actually look inside of the blocks to try and identify some of the fossils within that we can't see on the surface. A very effective way we've used in the past to actually discover fossils, like in fact the MH1 hominid skull was found in that way using a medical CT scanner. I'll keep updating, and so will the others. Follow us on our Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter profiles. So here we are. This is the Thursday morning, and Kenny's going to show you something really interesting. It's a very windy day, so pardon the noise, but take a look at what has just come out of dump 9. There you can see what Kenny's pointing out is the root of a canine. I think it's likely. It could be an incisor, but I think it's a canine. You can see very particularly the thickened enamel that Kenny's indicating now, and then as it comes around the top of the tooth, there's a slight wear, and around the back side of that tooth. So it's a canine that's been cut in half by the blasting. So that's a great thing. That's a great thing for this morning. And yes, it is amazing. It's like the third block that we've looked at out of here. So dump 9 is holding all the promise that we thought it would. So here we are. This is the Thursday morning. So this is Boy's prep station. He's been preparing another one of the blocks, one of the first ones out of the new work that had been selected from 105, and it too has, of course, hominid material. Here's a hominid fibula, it looks like. This was that one very characteristic that we thought was an ulna, but in fact, when you see it out, it looks much more like a fibula to me, I think, at this stage. It doesn't have the articular ends. Also in this same block, it looks like we might have a distal tibia, as well as some other smaller bones around it, which are very promising. And Boy is working on this bone, which was adjacent to where this other hominid remains were. So again, lovely stuff coming out. Here's a rib fragment that's come out of there. So we'll continue to slowly prepare bit by bit each of these blocks from the 105 site. We're seeing lots of hominid material, and so it's very promising that we're going to get good material, hoping for some very complete material, or at least being able to build complete material across these blocks. We'll keep you updated as the work continues. So some people have been asking on social media the kind of process. So you've seen what's happening underground as we bring the material up. But as it's brought to the top here, it's then sorted, and we're looking at sorting the dolomite, breccia without fossils, and breccia with fossils. The material is then washed, and here you can see Kenny and Andrew and Maripang where they're going to be. There's Maripang. Washing the material. That's then brought over to the identification table where you've seen me and Kenny and others sitting, where we actually identify the material. We're getting lots of fossils from Dump 9, a lot of very good fossils. There are certainly quite a few hominid fossils. We've even seen a bit of a cranium today. And there's also nicely quite a lot of animals. Those animals are going to be key to reconstructing the paleoecology of this deposit once we eventually have an age. Next week, we'll be continuing working on these dumps and others. We're also going to start the photogrammetry on the fossil wall, and we'll actually take the first samples for dating.